All right, good morning, everybody. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna show you a piece of equipment that I have that I use, been using for years on doing construction jobs, on how to lay out. Like say if you want to do a fence line, if you want to lay out a house pad, it's a very important tool. If you got to be very precise, but even if you don't have to be precise, it's still a great tool to use. It's not a laser level, so a laser level works great for shooting like elevations. So say like if you wanted to shoot the road out there, okay, see what that elevation is, and it's real good to use if you're working by yourself because you just set it up on the tripod, like so, and then you can turn it on, you go out there, you shoot the road. So say like you wanted this house pad right here. So say you wanted the garage to be a foot above that road out there. So you would set it up on your tripod and then, shoot that, you could do the same thing with this, but this machine here is called a theodolite. So excuse my garage, I've been working on some chairs and stuff, but it's a mess. So what this is, you set it up, and I'm going to show you how to set it up. And this takes two people to use. So you could do it by yourself, but it would be a lot of, once you got it set up, it'd be a lot of walking back and forth. So it's easier to have a guy down there, and then you look through the sight glass, just like it's, you look through the sight glass just like it's a scope on a gun, okay? So what you do, so perfect example, like that property that I've been working on, this is the survey off of it. So you would have a survey company come out and survey the property, and then they tell you, okay, here's your iron stake, here's your corner, like right here, what's it say? It says iron rod. So you got an iron rod here, and then 75 foot, so many inches over, you got another iron rod, and then 435 foot, whatever, you got another iron rod. But they identified the four corners of this property. So what you would do, like I got to put up a silt fence along that property. So what I got to do is I got to set up on this, like say this back corner over here. I would set up on the top of that, and then I would shoot down here. And then as I got this in line with the theodolite, I would have somebody walk, and I would tell them, right or left, until they're right in the crosshairs of this theodolite. And then you go down there, you either put a stake, spray paint a little dot, and you just keep going down, okay? So that would work perfect if you're laying out a fence. So I'm gonna show you how you set this thing up. So this piece of tape with the black dot on it we're representing, that is our iron rod that's down in the ground. So it comes with a plumb bob, and you can set it up, hook the plumb bob. I don't know if you can see that. Hook it right there and drop it straight down over that if you want to. But what I've done, and for years, I've used one of these. I used a Topcon though. This is a Spectrum. I think that's the name of it. Yeah, Spectra. So this is and this is the model number. So this right here was like $1,500. And then your tripod is gonna be, depending on if you want a metal one or a fiberglass one, which I would get a fiberglass, because over the years I've learned, I know they're a little bit heavier, but the aluminum ones, if you're out in the sun, like if you was out there working in that field, like when I used to work oil and gas, and I would have to go out and lay out a meter station or a valve site or a pump station or something like that, it would just be an open field like that. But a survey company and whoever did the drawings, like Worley Parsons or man, there's so many companies, engineering companies. So what they would do, they would go out there, have the property surveyed, and they would give you a benchmark. So they would give you some place with coordinates And that is called a Trimble that they use. Like when you see these survey guys and everything, they're using a Trimble. So that would give you, and it works off a satellite, so it gives you GPS coordinates. And long story, anyways. So when you get your prints, you look on your prints just like you do on that survey, and those iron stakes is a benchmark, okay? Now on something like this here, it doesn't really give you elevation, but a drawing from an engineering company, like if they wanted to build something, it'll give you an elevation, but they'll give you that benchmark. And then what you do is you set up on top of that benchmark with this here, and then same principle. If you want to, you know, lay out for a fence, you would set up on that benchmark, okay? And then you would shoot down there and look at the next benchmark or the next marker or whatever. So you would have that survey company come out and say, for like on this piece of property, I got 4 corners to work off of. So same way out in the field, you tell them, hey, I need like, you know, benchmarks for elevation, and then I need benchmarks for if the print's saying build it true north or whatever, then you'd want to benchmark true north from that, or vice versa, east, west, whatever, and then you work off your print. So I know when I go out there, say like in this back corner over here, they're going to want to build a shop, okay? So in this city, you know, they have build lines. So like in the front, this is your property line, but you can only build 25 foot from that property line. So what I would do is I would set up on this right here. I would shoot down here. Okay, so now I know that that's this line here. So I'd have my dots here. Then I would turn it. And what's good about this machine here, this isn't totally, if you wanted to lay out something square to this land's kind of cocked sideways. See, it's showing you true north is this way. So this is kind of cocked, kind of not true north. True north, this property would be like this. So it's kind of at an angle. So what you do, you would shoot this here from this corner to this corner. You would hit 0, and I'm going to show you all that. And then you would turn and you would line up your crosshairs in here on this, and you would look at your degree. So this might be, say, 10 degrees from true north. Okay, so when you go to lay out for, like say if you wanted to build a house pad right here, you know you got to be 25 foot off this property line, and then you got to look at the city's, you know, bylaws and find out what they say. So I think here in this town, it's 3 foot. You can't build no closer than 3 foot to your property line. So you would shoot here. So you'd put up your string line across here, or you don't even have to do that. But, you know, like you would want batter boards, and batter boards are just, you know, boards. Let me draw. So like if you have in the ground, you know, let's say this is your 2x4, like this, and then you have another one like this, then you have a board going across them like this, okay? And then you'd put you a nail in there. Well, then you tie your string to that, and you go down and you tie it to another one, okay? Then you would have a batter board over here, same way, you know? So you'd have a batter board going on this side with that, and then you'd come here. So this intersection right here, you'd want to set it up right over this mark here, okay? So you build these, so you'd build it, and then, sorry, I pushed the Siri button. I'm using my phone. So you'd build this batter board, build this batter board, build this batter board, build this batter board. But you would set up over this first. Well, really your batter board would be back here, because you want to go over your mark right there. And then you'd shoot down here, you'd build a batter board, and then you come over and build a batter board, and then you'd put your mark there. So you put a nail, and then you'd run your string here. Then you would set up and put your batter board here, and then you'd turn your machine this way, of course at that angle, and then you'd set up, put your batter board there, put your nail, and then you run a string line here. So once you run a string line there, and then run a string line there, and it don't have to go all the way down. Even if you're set up on this corner and you shoot this corner, you could put your batter board, say, 100 foot, and then put your string line right there. So that way now you run your string across here. So say you got to be 25 foot off of this property line for the permit or the city code for build. So now you measure where this string intersects this string is your dot. And you take a metal tape, do not use a cloth tape. A lot of people, if it don't have to be real, totally precise, a cloth tape, when you pull it tight, it will stretch. So that can cause you a lot of problems, like it did when I was working in oil and gas. You're laying out to where a pipe support's supposed to go, and then, something like that, and then, you need an exact measurement. So if you're like 2 or 3 inches off, when you get down to 200 foot, you're like, a foot or two off. So don't use a cloth tape. Try to always use a metal survey tape or a metal 100-foot tape. Yeah, they're kind of expensive, but you won't get that stretch out of it. When you pull it, it's right. So back to this. So you would take this mark, you just take a Sharpie and mark on that string line right there. So now you go, so let's be safe and say 26 foot. So you go 26 foot. So right there, then you put a mark on that string line. All right. Well, now you take your theodolite and you come down here, and you know what this angle is here, because you looked at it when you set this up. So now you move over here, set up over the top of it. And like I say, so now instead of looking at your iron rod, you're looking through the top of this. Let me see if I can see. So you get it close by looking through the top of this, and you get it real close, or you use your plumb bob and you set it up over that dot that you just made on your string. Now you can put, an iron stake underneath there, right here. Put an iron stake. So now you set your tripod up over this, and you remember this angle here. So now when you set up here, then you'll look back to this one, and that's 0. That's you're back in line. You could turn it 180 and make sure. So like whenever you go set up here, shoot here, 0 it out. See, it says 0 set, so you would hit 0. Then when you turn this, because it's going to be digital, you turn this 180 degrees and you hit this, then as long as that says 180 degrees or real super close, then you're back on this plane here. So then you would take it, you don't have to 0 it. We said this was 10 degrees. So now what you would do is you would just turn it till it says 10 degrees, and then you shoot over here. Sorry, I keep hitting the button. So now you turn it to whatever this degree is, you turn it over here, and you shoot over here, put your nail. And then, of course, you want to have a batter board here. So you can measure. So like say if you want this batter board 2 foot off this line, then you just go 2 foot. Well, it's going to be back here, batter board. And then you're going to run your string line across to here. So now you got string, and then right here, put you another batter board, okay? So that you got your measurement here, which is 96 whatever, 96.76, and then you would just measure over here on the string, 97, and that's your center there. So then you would just come off of this and just, but that's how you do it. You to set your batter boards, but you wouldn't be going all the way across. So say you wanted to build a house, and the house is, 30 foot by 30 foot. So that's what you would do, So you'd come off of this 3 foot for your build lines, or say 5 foot. So then you're going to measure here 35 foot. Well, then you're actually going to set up a batter board here, and then you'll put a batter board here. But then you want to go 30 foot this way plus 5 foot, so you go 35 foot. So you'll put a batter board, and then put a string line. You want to come down here, and you want 30 foot, so your batter board, and another batter board 2 foot off. So now you got your property laid out. You got your house pad laid out. So that's what you want. you know. So that's basically what this machine right here will do, you know. And I mean, it's like, as far as laying out and for shooting fence lines and, you know, house pads, shop pads, driveways, you know, anything. Just, you know, even if where this drive, if we had to put a driveway in here and the guy says, hey, I want it in the center. Well, once you set this all up, then you measure over and you know, okay, right here, you know, at 30 something foot, 30 something foot, and then a 30-foot driveway. It's 90 something foot. So you know, divide it by 2, that's your center. And then if he wants a 30 foot, 15, 15, you know, but this is a great piece of equipment. And there's a lot about it that I don't know, but I know how to use it to do this. So that's all I care about. You know, there's all kind of formulas, you know. If you wanted to lay this out, you know, you can do your say, you know, if this is a total square, so you know these corners are going to be 45 degrees. So if you know the measurement of this, say it's 10 foot, or we'll say 30 foot, 30 foot, then you times that by 1.414, and that should give you your diagonal. So that's just a way to check. So you're just using, you know, geometry to figure up if you got something laid out square or whatever. And this will do that. You know, you could set up on this corner, you know, and then you could measure over or shoot over, set it at a 45 degree and double check your measurement, you know what I mean? But if you do the batter boards, you know, and you can even, you know, check it after you do your batter boards and string lines and stuff like that. So this is a great machine. So it's definitely worth it. You know, if I was just gonna buy one machine, the only thing bad about this one is usually 2 people is what you need to work this, because you're looking through the scope that somebody's got to mark it down there. There's ways to do it. You can build you a 2-foot board. I mean, a 4-foot board, you know, so you can eyeball it, lay that board down there at the road and have your measurements, or have like a aluminum, you know, 4-foot level screwed to that board, lay that board up, and you can shoot it, and you can say, okay, I want to be lined up down there. So yeah, okay, you look through the glass and then it says, you know, 1 inch, you know, well, so you go down there and you know you can move your board over 1 inch, and now you're at 0, but it's a pain in the butt. So you really need 2 people. 2 people is what you need for this. But a laser level, like the one I have, you know, you can use it by yourself. You can get the adapter to put on your bucket. Like I made a pole that mounted to the side of my bucket, and I got the machine mount, so when I'm grading, I can use it. It's great for that. But, you know, you're talking $1,000, $1,100, because the laser level's $1,000. I mean, is like $500 or $600. Then of course the tripod, and then the machine attachment's $500 or $600. So now you're back up to about what the price of this one costs, and you can do more with this one. So if I was to buy one first, and if you got a helper, buy that. But me, I don't have a helper, so that's why I got one of each. So when I need to shoot elevations and grade, you know, I can do it by myself with the laser level. But anyways, let me show you how to hook this up. So what we did, so we're saying that the blue tape is the rod that the survey company put in the ground. So this is our corner. So we didn't use the plumb bob, which you can, but I just look down it, you know, just look down in it, and if it's pretty close, then we'll start with that. So what you do is you take your theodolite, you bring it over here, you set it on top, like so, and then this screws into it so it secures it, but you don't want to do it tight. You just want to, you know, screw it just finger tight for right now, okay? And then you see this bubble right here, so that's for fine tuning. But the first thing you want to do is, I don't know if we're gonna be able to look in here or not. Let's see. Okay, you see them crosshairs in there? So you want to move this to where it's hard to do holding this camera and getting it totally right. Let's see, right, come on, sucker. So you want to move this. I'm gonna have to do it by do it myself, and then we'll look at it. So you want to move this to where okay, now look at it. Let's get this little, that's why I don't like using the one with the thing. Come on, where's that? So right there, we're pretty close. It won't focus, but there's crosshairs in there, and it's right on that dot. Yes, this is shifted over, but it'll work still, okay? So now, so we got it close there. So now you tighten this up. So you snug it up. Now you're looking at this. Okay, let's take our lens cover off. Put that in the pocket. So now you twist this. So this, when you twist it up until that bubble moves, twist this one up. See that bubble starting to move? When it's right in the center, right like that. So see, that bubble starting to move. So when you got that bubble right in the center like that, of that little black circle, okay, and we're looking down that way, so we want to turn it 90 and look at it and make sure it's still in there. See, every direction we turn it, we want it to still be in that bubble, okay? Then you come up here, this is the fine adjustment, okay? So see how it's over the black line right there? So you want that bubble to be, and you just barely turn it and it moves. So you want that bubble to just barely, so I'm barely turning this adjuster here. So keep going. Perfect. Oh, about right there. Then you want to turn it again 90 degrees and make sure it's right the other way. So now we want to turn, I'm turning this knob here, and you just got to play with it to figure that part out. But you just turn it. We did 90 degrees. You just turn it until it gets level right there. Now, remember me talking about a fiberglass or aluminum tripod? This is why you go with fiberglass. And it's happened to me when I used to work construction. Okay, I'd be out there laying out stuff, and then you want to always, when you come back to this machine, you want to always make sure that this bubble's right. You want to make sure that that's right, because now when a sun hits an aluminum tripod, what do you think heat does to metal and aluminum? It makes it grow, or it makes it warp, or it makes it, expand, the heat. So what it does, so if the sun was hitting this side, it would make this, and you wouldn't think it would do it that much, but you would hit this and it would warp it or make it start bowing, and then it throws your bubble out. So then when you're laying out stuff, now your stuff's off a little bit, not a ton, but if, whenever you're laying out pipe supports and stuff like that, you want to try to make everything square to the world, to a 90 degree. So, just for the next person that comes, he can assume that, which that'll get you in trouble, but assume that it's square, but you want to double check that kind of stuff. So anyways, so now we got that. So now it's all locked down. We turned it both ways. Our bubble's good. So now, when you turn this knob here, okay, it moves this, but as you turn it like this, now it's tight. This don't turn as easy. So if I wanted, you look through this little sight glass up here, let's focus on them pumpkins across the street there, okay? So I'm gonna look through this little sight glass, and there's crosshairs in there. See if you can see them or not. Yeah, see, you can kind of see them. It's hard to see with the camera, but you put them crosshairs, so that gets you close. So I'm looking at those pumpkins across the street. See the pumpkins over there? So I'm looking at the pumpkins, so I see them in my crosshair, so I'm real close. So now I'm gonna lock this in to where this is pretty rigid. Now this, we'll fine tune it. Let's show you. Well, first let me get the pumpkins in the picture here. Okay, so now if you look in there, you see the crosshairs? See the crosshairs? The pumpkin, I'm on the crosshairs. Now, if I move, well, let's turn it on. Set 0. So we are 0. This is 0. And there's a way that you can hit programs to save stuff and all that, but I never do that. I don't know that much about it. Okay, so now we're 0. All right, let's hit that 0 again. So we'll make 0, 0. Now watch what happens when I turn just this small one. So if I bump it, see how it's starting to move? Huh? See there? And that's degrees, and so it's degrees and minutes, you know? So, and I'm sure there's a way to change that to where you want like degrees and like all points or something, but I don't know. I just use it this way. So if I know, let's go back, we can fine tune this to 0, like that, okay? I mean, when you get way down here to this, I mean, you're like super close, super close. So, all right, so now let's say we wanted to, from this spot right here, we would have our batter board set up back here, okay, with the board going across. And that's another thing when you set up, like, so we're going in that direction. See, like I did, you know, of course I'm just showing y'all this, but you don't want that leg to be in the way of your string line. I've set up before and got everything ready and go to run my string line and I'm like, damn, I hit the leg. So you wanna make sure you turn your tripod to where your string lines can go through your legs. Okay, so now, so what I would do, I would tell a guy, you know, go down to there to where the pumpkin's at, put in a 2x4, put in a 2x4 and put one across it. Then I would look in this crosshairs, and right where the crosshairs are, he'd have his finger down there. He'd have his finger on that 2x4 like this, you know, and then when I tell him that's good right there, then he'd take a Sharpie, he'd put a mark, drive a nail in there. So now I know back here, we'd tie that string on there, we'd come down here, and then right where it comes over that right there, I'd put another mark. Or what you do is you unlock this, so you want to be exact, because you know you're 0, so you unlock this, and you turn it, and now you go 180 degrees. So you get it close. I keep going. I'm sitting there twisting it a little bit until it gets real close, like that. And then I'm gonna tighten up right here, like that. And then I'm gonna turn the fine adjustment till we're right at 180. Keep turning, oh, too much. And this is like very, you know, touchy. So, I mean, that's close enough right there. So then I would look through the sight glass, which that's what this one's for. So when it's totally loose, then it moves easy. When it moves easy. When you tighten this one up, hold on a minute, I gotta answer a call. Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call I had to answer, and I'm using my phone to do this. So what you would do, so then this here, you know, locks to where this doesn't move as easy when you tighten this up. And then this fine tune right here makes this pivot, you know, real close. So then what I would do is I would just, you know I'm 180, so I would look down the sights and I would tell a guy, put me a 2x4, and then a board across another batter board. Then I would look through here, you know, which it's, once again, it's kind of hard showing you. So then I would focus in on it. Damn it. Anyways, you get the idea. This is your focus right here. So I'd focus in on it, and he'd have his finger down there, and I'd tell him, okay, good, right there. So then he'd put a mark, put a nail. So now I know I got from that nail, running straight over that mark, down to those pumpkins to another nail, you got a string line. Now you got a perfect straight line off of your survey paper that you're working on. Say if you wanted to put a fence right there, then that's what you would do. And then you could go down that, at this point, get somebody, you can drive a stake, what's already got a stake, but get somebody to hold it, and you come down, and every 7 foot, you want to set your poles. So you'd go there, you go 7 foot, spray, 7 foot, spray, 7 foot, spray. And then it lays out all your poles. Or a lot of people will use a 2x4. So like if you put a 2x4 up against there and you come down and it's, a little bit less than 7 foot, then put a spray mark, move your 2x4, put it on the mark, spray, move your 2x4, spray, and now you know where your poles are going, okay? So you've seen, so let's unlock this. So perfect example. So we go back to 0, which we don't have to do that, but we know that we done 0 that out there. So now let's say we want to turn 90 degrees and go this way. So we would just turn this till it hits, well, this way it's going to be 270 because it goes 0, 90, 180, 270, 360, 0. So we want to go 270. If you wanted to go 45 degrees from 0, so you would go, 360 and then minus 45, and then that's your setting to go that way, So I'm telling you, this is a great piece of equipment to have in your arsenal. If you do dirt work, if you do fence work, if you do, of course, if you work for a big company, they're going to have one of these. And like I said, when I worked in oil and gas, we had one of these because I'd have to go out to, like I said, out to a field out in the middle of nowhere and say like where that green, I don't know if you can see it or not, they wanted a valve to come up out of the ground there. Well, I had a benchmark and then I would have to lay it out, according to the, anyways, long story short. But that's what I would do, like even that road, if I needed to put that road in, this is what I'd use. But a lot of people have a survey company come out and put your points for you. But we didn't always have that, so we'd have to go out there and lay out stuff. Now, they gave us our original reference points, and then we had to lay out everything from there. But long story short, so that's kind of the rundown on this theodolite. And, like I said, if you can afford it, and you don't have to do this, but if you want to, lay stuff out pretty accurate, like I said, we'll go back to the survey paper here, on this piece of property. So that I'm gonna be bringing in a bunch of dirt to build this up, and I got to put up silt fence. So that's why I'm gonna use it so I know where the property line is, and I put that silt fence up around here, and then I can start working off of that because I gotta put a ditch from the back to the front, and then I'll, do all that. And, the pad, I think when we get ready to build the pad out there for the guy, the neighbor said that the city made him go 2 foot above the road. So I would take my laser level, shoot 0 at the road, and then I'd go down here and put a stake in the ground and put a mark at 2 foot above that mark. And then I know when I start bringing dirt in, I got to come up to that mark. Now, when I get close, then I'll start, of course, the concrete and all that would be the final grade. So you do that when you go to set your concrete forms to make sure it's the exact 2 foot above the road, So I know this ain't really a fabrication, video or equipment, dirt work kind of video, but this all goes with that. This goes with fabrication. This goes with, dirt work, laying out stuff, building fences. It's just, if you're an independent, person, like I said, this is a very, very, very good tool. So I've been building my own patio furniture. I'm at my house, so I know the wind's kind of bad, but so I've been building my patio furniture. There's a fire pit I built. There's a pizza oven. I built that stand for the bottom of that. I built that wood rack. So I like, I built the table, my wife and I, a little barbecue pit I built, So anyways, So that's what I've been working on. My equipment's been out on jobs, and I don't really have no work going on right now. We got some rain and stuff. So I've been in my shop, in my garage, piddling. Like I said, I'm working on another one of those chairs. So anyways, so I just wanted to touch on that. And, you know, I can do some other videos on the laser level if everybody wants it, just to kind of know how it kind of works. If you have any questions on something like this, I think you can order these off of Amazon. So I'll look and put the link in there where you can order. I think I already got my Topcon laser level in there. I mean, I haven't made no money off Amazon. Yes, I got the affiliate thing set up or whatever, but I haven't made a penny. So I got gloves on there and stuff like that. If you want to buy something like that, you know, it helps me out. But like I said, I haven't made a dime yet, but I think they sell these on there. And like I said, I paid, I think it was tax, title, license out the door from the survey company was like $1,500. And, but it's worth it. It comes with this pack here is actually where you can put batteries in it. See, batteries. And it comes with, you just twist it and it locks. And it comes with this case. It comes with this battery here, which is one that you plug in and charge. So this is a rechargeable one. It comes with a plumb bob, some little tools, you know, some other stuff, paperwork. You know, I never read all that. I should, but I don't. You know, I know enough to get by. So I call myself the get by hand. But there's definitely a whole lot more you can do with this. But for what I've done, and I made a living doing it, that's how I use it. That's how I work it, and it works great. So, well, thanks for watching, and hope everybody kind of gets, you know, likes this video, gets something out of it. Like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll try to answer them. You know, if somebody lives south of Houston and wants to get together and I show them how to use it, you know, or something, I'll even do that. I don't mind at all. So just reach out to me, and everybody take care and stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.